So welcome back to another Thursday on the Pagan Perspective, and this week we're talking about dudism. Yes, dudism as in the dude. So we got this topic because last year, I guess last winter was technically in 2014, we had a topic about Jediism, and someone had written in and asked, is that pagan? What do you guys think about it? Someone else watched that video or that week of videos that we did, and wanted to know what we thought about dudism. So I have to admit, I had never heard of dudism before reading this topic. And I mean, the idea itself kind of delighted me. I thought it was very, just seems like a kind of fun, amusing idea. But my immediate assumption was that it was going to be a satire religion. So I went ahead and, sorry the camera's moving, the cat is jumping around everywhere. So I went ahead and looked it up and was really quite pleased to find that it isn't. It's, a legitimate, sincere religion or beliefs, and being that it is influenced by The Big Lebowski, by the Jude, they don't seem to take themselves super seriously, but it's still sincere. And relaxing about that, all of the dogma and the control and all of that is part of what they're saying is important. I'm not going to go too much into everything that they're saying. It's pretty simple. You can check it out at dudism.com. It has a lot of connections or ties with many different practices throughout history, which they point out. One of the most obvious connections is with Taoism, without a lot of the kind of trappings and ceremonial elements of it. But really the center of it is just to kind of relax and let things be, and that's just your opinion and that kind of thing. Just really going with the flow and letting it be, which I think is very, very appealing. One thing I loved that they had in there, which I think I might borrow the expression, they said that dudism is an open source religion. And I loved that. That was really, it's like, ooh. Because I think that a lot of modern pagan groups, not all of course, but a lot, are also open source. So that's fun to find a nice new word, or kind of a good communication, a good tool to communicate an idea. Now, last winter, our topic about Jediism asked specifically whether we thought it counted as being pagan or not. And this topic didn't technically say that. It was sort of a, here's a topic, go. But my take on this is that, who am I to decide what's pagan for somebody and what isn't pagan for somebody else? So for me, when I look at it, it doesn't seem to have any of the focus on nature and the earth, which I find to be a very important element of what I consider to be pagan. Now you're going to find lots of other folks who think, who have different definitions of that, and it may or may not fit with their specific definitions. By one of the dictionary definitions that pagans are, or paganism is anything that is non-Abrahamic, as in, Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. I guess you'd count Mormons, and I don't know if Rastafarians would count within the Abrahamic tradition, but anyways, being that it's not one of those, it's not a theistic religion, it doesn't believe in that God that those religions all believe in, that could be counted as pagan. So now I wanted to give a little bit more to this topic because it does touch on something that I really love, that we've talked about before on this channel in several different capacities over the years. And that is this drawing on modern media, on modern narratives to inform our spirituality, to inform our worldviews, to inform, to use as symbology, as metaphor for kind of the important things in our life. We've talked before about finding deities from video games or things like that. And it's something, again, I don't do the deity thing, but I love the idea. And that's one of the things that this Dudism is doing, is it's taking ideas which are not new, right? The relax, go with the flow, let what is be, be ancient idea. It's popped up all over the world many, many different times. But what they're doing is they're taking a modern narrative that lots of us are able to relate to and using that as their vehicle for this idea in a way that, a lot of us have in the United States, in Canada, in sort of the Western world, a lot of us have a much deeper connection to the Big Lebowski than we do to the culturally, is more accessible to us than, the Tao Te Ching. And so they're choosing a vehicle that is going to be able to speak to them. And I love that.